Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's session, our 56th. Today, we're going to focus on clearing our Vishuddhi Chakra, our fifth center. So there we go. And we're going to focus on doing that with love and compassion. If you're new, please type that in the chat and we'll put you in a breakout room as an introduction. On Thursday, we're going to be focusing on Lord Buddha, who is at our right Agya chakra, and meditate on his teachings and qualities within us. So now, without further ado, I want to introduce my co-host for tonight, who is Sylvia, well known to you. Hi, Sylvia.
Good. Hello, everyone. It's so great to be with you again. I hope you remember me. I'm Sylvia, living in North Florida. I'm the gardening grandmother who loves to meditate. And tonight we'll share a few of those kinds of stories, and hopefully everybody will have as much fun as we did planning this session, Linda.
And tonight we have a wonderful musician to join us, Angela.
Hi everybody, my name is Angela Nambiar. I am originally from Colombia. I've been living in the United States, in the state of Maryland, for about 20 years. And I got my realization in Colombia. We were very fortunate when Shri Mataji came to South America a few occasions, and then to introduce Sahaja Yoga to all of us. And I'm very happy to be here with all of you.
So glad you could join us, Angela. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're going to sing for us tonight?
Yes, I'm going to sing and I'm going to play the guitar, and I'm going to try to mix Spanish and English and rhythms. Yes.
All right, we can't wait. Thank you. See you
Thank
a little later.
Okay.
Okay. So now we're going to do our foot soak to begin with. So let's, hopefully you have your bowls ready. And we are going to focus, as I said, on our fifth chakra, the Vishuddhi, today. And we're going to even start doing that during our foot soak. So to begin with, let's vibrate our foot soak bowl. And we can put our feet in. And let's raise our Kundalini together. Let's do it with very good attention. Bringing more and more strands of our Kundalini to the top of our head and keeping them there with a knot. Let's do that again, second time. Our attention is inside. Another knot. Third time we raise more and more strands. See if you can feel the energy coming up. Let's tie it in place there 3 times. Let's pause for a second. And with our hand above our head, see if even now, after raising our Kundalini, we feel that our attention is there. Perhaps even now already we can feel the Kundalini energy above our head. See if you feel it. Just see if it feels silent already. Now let's give ourselves a bandhan, putting our right hand on our left hip, over the top of our head to our other hip and back. Our attention follows our hand. Don't go too fast, so you can really create this seal, this subtle armor that protects our chakras. helps us keep our attention inside. We can keep our eyes open and look at Shri Mataji's photograph. Or if you like, you can close them. Take a deep breath, relax. Another one. See what we feel in our hands. Our hands reflect the condition of our fifth chakra, the Vishuddhi. So if we feel sensations, vibrations, or catches on our hands, that means our Vishuddhi is relatively clear. If we don't, we can keep working on it, and eventually we will. Took me a long time to feel anything on my hands. Now let's work to begin with on the muscles of our Vishuddhi by just rotating our head around slowly. This is something that can help to release any tension and subtle blockages. So we can roll it around slowly, front, left, back, right, front. And we can go the other way. Right, back, left, front. Let's do that again. Right, back, left, front. Raise up our head so that our head is level, not too low and not too high. That's also important, the position of our Vishuddhi chakra in a straight position. See what we feel. And also raise up our hands straight up so that they're facing each other above our head. Relax our shoulders, but yet stretch out. Bring our attention to the top of our head. Bring our hands down. And just see, we might feel more of a flow of vibrations on our hands after doing this. Just feel that it's, again, a bit clearer. Let's work on our left Vishuddhi by putting our right hand on our left shoulder, turning our head a little bit to the right. Here we often say, I'm not guilty. We can also say, oh, Mother Kundalini, please help me not to judge myself. I do not judge myself, as I am the pure spirit. I am worthy of my self-realization. We can say the mantra for this left Vishuddhi Chakra, which is Shri Vishnu Maya. Om Tameva Sakshat Shri Vishnu Maya Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. See if we feel our left Vishuddhi lighter, more flow of vibrations on our left hand. Bring our hand down. Now let's put our left hand on our right Vishuddhi. Here, we ask for sweetness in all of our communication. Make me respectful and accepting and loving toward everyone I meet. Let's say the mantra for Shri Yashoda. Om Tameva Sakshat Shri Yashoda Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. See if we can keep our attention on Sahasrara at the same time as we're putting attention on our Vishuddhi. Bring our hand down. See how we feel. Let's bring our right hand to our center Vishuddhi. Bring our attention inside this chakra. Here we ask, please show me how to be in the witness state. Through this divine connection. Show me how to be detached. How to be a witness. Let's say the mantra here for Shri Radha Krishna. Om Tameva Sakshat Shri Radha Krishna Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Bring our hand down. Let's bring our right hand on top of our head. Let our attention come all the way up. Raise up our hand. Be in that state of connection with the divine power of love. And let's bring our hand down. We're going to finish our foot soak now, so let's rinse our feet, dry them, and put our foot soak bowl aside. Okay, now I'd like to invite Sylvia back.
Hello. Feeling so renewed after that foot soak, Linda. So nice. So
Great.
much better. Yeah. We've been looking forward to this conversation, I think, with sharing it with everybody in our talking this week. So that foot soak was a nice preparation because we worked on all three aspects of our Vishuddhi.
So you want to go ahead and introduce how we're going to do this and what we're going to
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So we want to really talk about Vishuddhi with everyone and the qualities of Vishuddhi that we kind of focused on in the lead up to this meeting today, were that, like Linda talked about, the witness state is sort of from the center of Vishuddhi, we could say. Witness state, as you'll hear in the talk, is such a power. So we hope to be able to give you a bit more of a tangible understanding of that. And we'll talk about left Vishuddhi and how we shouldn't feel guilty, and that sometimes that guilty place is a refuge, right, Linda? It's an escape. It's an escape. It's not, it doesn't mean that we're virtuous. It's an escape. And what it does is it is an escape because maybe we've overused our right Vishuddhi and we haven't been sweet, like you introduced to us. And then we feel guilty, but then we don't correct it. We just hide in our guilt. So that puts us in trouble, right?
Right. So maybe we'll start with our left Vishuddhi. Shall we start there?
Oh, that's such a good one.
So
yeah, let's start with that one. I think you had a story about that, or was it me?
I think it's you, but I think one thing we can start by just talking about how easy it is to kind of hide out in our left Vishuddhi. We sort of feel guilty, but we think, well, that's kind of good. I did something, but I feel bad about it. I'm supposed to feel, dutifully bad, right? I think we all had that conditioning growing up, but it's not good for our spiritual growth because it just keeps us like blocked and feeling bad about ourselves. And we sort of hide out there in our left Vishuddhi feeling bad. And so we want to share some ways that that we can get out of it. And some of them are very practical. Things like just doing things, getting
Oh,
up
yes,
and,
absolutely.
instead of, hanging out on the couch and being depressed, but just get out and, even start cleaning up the house or doing something fun, or singing or hearing music, something that will make the left side feel better. So trying to remember these solutions.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think
we're never proud of ourselves, right? And then so we have to feel a little bit proud of ourselves. There's that saying from Buddhism, actually, I think. Anyway, I just love it. Chop wood, carry water. Means if you can't think of anything else to do, you're stuck, you're going around in circles, do the basics, right?
Yes.
And that'll help get you out of your emotions too much in self-indulgence.
Yeah. So Sylvia, tell the story about your friend Gabby and how that was about your left.
This is really a good story. So we had been talking to some yuvas who were supposed to come and visit us. And we were looking forward to them. They were, meditators. And we had sort of made a plan that they would come last weekend. And I didn't hear from them. And suddenly I'm looking at my phone on Saturday morning. There was no confirmation. I wasn't sure if they were coming in. I knew they had other stuff going on. It was Labor Day weekend. They might go somewhere else, right? Mm-hmm. So I wasn't really sure. And so there I am looking at my phone on Saturday morning. Oh, guess what? We're going to be here in 30 minutes. And actually, as it turned out, on Saturday morning, I was just not feeling ready. I was sort of going through some personal. Recently, a dear friend has passed away. It had been a really busy week. I'm trying to get ready to travel again. And I could feel, right? I could just not. I told myself, no. They're coming. You have to be nice. You have to be welcoming, all that. So, right. So first I put that on myself, even though really honestly, deep inside, I needed some time to myself that morning to nurture myself. So that lasted about 3 minutes, really. And then when I talked to them, they said, I said, oh, I didn't realize you were really coming. You didn't confirm. So they picked it up really fast. They said, oh, well, if it's not good, we can do this and we can do that. But there was my dutiful thing saying, no, come, you're welcome. Even though inside I'm going, I need time for myself. So after that went on for about 3 minutes internally, I did call them back. And I said, I really want you to come, but today is not good. If you have an alternative, that would really be better. And I would love to see you tomorrow. I really need to rest today. And I need to take care of myself. I would not have been able to do that 10 years ago. No way. I mean, I would have felt absolutely dutiful. I would have jumped up, cleaned the house, 30 minutes, right? Cooked something. But I've learned over time that, if we haven't filled up enough inside, then we don't have anything enough to give. Mm-hmm. And especially if it's with people that you love and know, you don't want to fake it. You really want to be real. So After I hung up the phone, I kind of waited, though, for that guilty feeling to come on. And I could sort of hear it ringing in the back of my head. Well, they've traveled, they were looking forward to seeing you and all that. And I just went, no, I'm not going to go there. And I really didn't. I didn't even have to put my hand here, and
That's
say,
great. Yeah. No, it's such a great example of how, we, first of all, one thing that I hadn't even thought of before is that it's a kind of self-talk going on, and we should feel very, ready to do that with ourselves because, that's
Yes.
how our true self can be the cheerleader and really can help us to not get stuck in that left Vishuddhi where we feel, oh, I shouldn't say anything. Oh, I should be a martyr. Oh, I should do what's right. And just so that the left Vishuddhi will also make us not speak when we need to speak. So
Yes, that's absolutely, that's true. There could have been just a choke. Oh no, I can't tell how I really feel. Yes.
Yeah. So nice. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, let's maybe move on to the right side of our Vishuddhi, which is extremely challenging for many of us. And maybe I'll talk about that to begin with, what I like to call the pendulum swing of the Vishuddhi, where we have first we are in some moment where our attention isn't up. We're just kind of not paying it. We're not alert. We're not centered. And something comes out of our mouth that really we shouldn't have said, or we make a choice that isn't the best, and it somehow hurts somebody, or it has a benefit. So, okay, that happens. That's the right side error, you could say. And then, we swing to the left. We go into, I feel so guilty. I shouldn't have said that. I'm a bad person. Oh, no. And then we try to coax ourselves out of that, back to the center. We might feel like, well, maybe what I said was okay. We might even try to a little bit rationalize it and think, well, maybe I wasn't so terrible. But then we have to kind of be honest with ourselves, face that rationalizing ego that wants it to be okay, but still not feel guilty and somehow land in the center. So
yeah, and accept ourselves on the way. It's such you're right. You're listening to your spirit, and your spirit doesn't want you to get away with those little tricks. It wants you to be faithful, not only to others, but to yourself.
Yes. So, one of the how do you have a clear right Vishuddhi is, you just simply don't criticize other people.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's so hard because we live in a culture where being right is valued over loving other people. And so we feel that it's all right to kind of impose our opinion or to correct others. And it really can be hurtful. So, what Shri Mataji has taught and in Saj Yoga is that we really try never to be hurtful in any way, not to criticize at all, and just to really, this is where on the right side, rather than speaking up, we want to be quiet and not speak. So
right, exactly. And it has such a power. If we all can try that, it has such a power to just create that space of silence within ourselves, doesn't it, Linda?
Yeah.
I think you had a story about, or like an exercise for us about that.
I do that. Well, there's a couple things. One is that over the years, I realized that often when I was talking to a friend or a family member, and they would be coming to me with a problem, right? And so I would be giving all kinds of advice, helpful advice, as I thought. And I realized after a while that they really weren't receiving it that well. And listening more and more to Shri Mataji, I realized, well, let me try not giving that helpful advice. Maybe that's not really what they want. And so I did this experiment where I started to just listen, not give that advice. And I mean, I can't tell you how many conversations I've had where I'm just completely silent, just saying, oh, I see. That's it. At the end, often the person will say, thank you so much. You were so helpful. And all I did was simply be loving and be this and listen with love. So that's, yeah, something we can try.
Yeah, it's something we can try. And look at that. It must have given you too such a great sense of satisfaction and also freedom in a way, right?
It does, yeah. Because and it's hard because we're so used to
excuse me,
giving the help. We feel that it's needed, that the correction, if we don't correct that person, how will they ever get better? So that, and that's where I would say that there's really a very Sahaj way of seeing that. And that is that when we put our attention on someone, just put our attention, the Kundalini works, the vibrations work. And one thing that can happen is that they can come to know themselves, that they're sort of what their mistake is or how to correct themselves. Another way I've seen that can happen, and I want to tell a little story too of Shri Mataji, is that instead of saying something, blurting something out at that moment, that we find the right time to talk to that person, where there's a kind of softness, there's an understanding, there's a trust, and it will come across in a sweet and loving way, and they'll take it in a way that they can really hear it. I want to. The story is that I was editing. We had an international newsletter of Sahaja Yoga that had Shri Mataji's talks in it, and I was the editor of that. And Shri Mataji had asked me to summarize her talks because they were quite long. And this was before the internet. This was, in the 80s and 90s. So it was how our people all over the world would get to know what she had said in whatever different parts of the country.
Right. It had a huge distribution. I remember it. And so that's a feeling of quite a bit of responsibility, I would say.
Yeah. So basically, it was most of the time, I felt that I could do it, but there was one time when I came to, anyway, I was in a place where I was just coming up the stairs, and Shri Mataji was leaving the place where she was staying. I was coming up and she was coming down, and she met me right at the top of the stairs. We were just alone, which never normally happens. Normally there are people around Shri Mataji, especially if she's walking somewhere. And she told me then very sweetly of this one mistake I had made in one of these summaries. But in such a beautiful, diplomatic, sweet way that I felt really that it was, easy to take. And she didn't do it in front of anybody else to embarrass me.
Wow.
It was just, a very loving correction. And I later found out that she had told, she did tell just one or two other people about it. And she had said, often she would ask other people to tell somebody else about it for something. But in this case, she said, no, I will find the right time and I will tell her. And so just out of the blue, this moment happened. And she did. That magic of the timing when she when I was there with her, and just it happened very quickly too, but it was so beautiful. Yeah,
that is so sweet that she would take into consideration your feelings in such a deep way.
Yes.
And that value on feelings is so missing, isn't it?
Yes.
In our modern life. And when someone values our feelings so much, it gives us that power to say, wow, this is okay. I can express that within myself for others as well. I don't have to be that strict, commanding, ordering person or advising person or whatever,
Yeah.
I can dig into that sweet, I can allow that sweet thing to happen. Yeah, that's a lovely story. It's beautiful.
Do you want to tell the story of your granddaughter?
I was hoping you'd say that. I had a feeling you might. Speaking of giving power, Linda, because I find that another aspect that where we can get lost in Vishuddhi is when we react. And here we are talking about the witness state gives you such a tremendous power. And maybe that power is so that we don't react or that we see things more clearly, but also it can bring great joy and sometimes enlightenment, I have to say. Okay, so with that preamble, my daughter was sending me pictures of our granddaughter, who's 19 months old now. And this little tot is about 20 inches high. And she's walking with this brilliant smile on her face and carrying her daddy boots. He's a builder, which are, half of her size. And she's got one hand under the dirty, muddy bottom and one hand around the boot. And she's walking through the living room because they park, he parks his boots by the door when he comes in. And my first reaction seeing that photograph was, oh no, her hands are going to get dirty. Oh, God knows where those boots have been. And those are too heavy for her. And what if she puts her mouth on it? Babies, they test everything with their mouth. But instead, I just, and then there's that brilliant smile on her face. So that's another interesting thing, right? She's not old enough to be attached to something like, oh, the boot isn't good. For me to pick up, it's too dirty, whatever, to override her feelings. So it turns out my daughter and son-in-law had been watching her do this. And at first they're taking the boot and they're putting it back, but she goes and gets it again and bringing it back to her daddy. So then they settled down and they just watched her. And their conclusion was that daddy didn't somehow look whole to her without the boots. And she associated the boots with daddy. And so she felt that he needed to have them. So they allowed her in that way to just express, her little heart and not shut her down and, too much on the no, right? But so what I felt is the power in that time. And it gave me great joy to just see this little tyke expressing her little love in such a sweet way, only not even 2 years old, and to show us more about her perceptions. So it became a thing where we were able to see her better, and she was able to see, to express herself. So this is because we just witnessed, we weren't necessarily immediately with the advice or with the conditionings, So instead, the attitude was, well, why is she doing that? Let's see what we can learn here. And I think when we all realized what was really going on, it was just, like I said, joyful. It was just so joyful. I mean, little kids are joyful anyway, but I just think that's a great story.
That's wonderful. Yeah, that all those reactions and judgments, and it's just a joy killer, usually.
That is that's right. It's a joy killer. Really good point. Such a good point. Yeah.
So one thing I want to tell you is when I was reflecting on the Vishuddhi today, and especially about the center Vishuddhi, and it's the aspect of Sri Krishna is here in our Vishuddhi. That's his place. Mm-hmm. And one of his messages is that life is a play, that it's a lila, and we should watch it and witness it. And I was realizing that as Saj Yogis, we have this connection. And so we can, I know some of you, those of you who've been coming, right. It's, what do we do with this connection? I mean, we can feel the vibrations, we can feel it, we can feel that there's, the energy is flowing, but how does it play out in our lives, and what can we do? So if we can, the more we can be in this place of connection and get the message from up here as to what we should say, we're in that play, that drama, but it's an improv. that really life is like an improv, and if we keep reading our old scripts from the ones we've always said,
left side.
this I always say when somebody says this, I kind of always react this way, or always if we come into the drama of our life reading our old scripts, we're missing that moment, the being in the moment, and we're not in that divine play where if we can be up here and really be in that flow, getting the messages just then and there, then we can also feel that everything's going to work out also. So
yeah, absolutely. That is such a nice idea. And when you shared that with me the first time, I thought it just is the advantage of keeping our attention up here so well. Because then, like you said, we're not in a script, and we can really respond from the heart, from the Sahasrara. And when we do that, and I know you're aware of this as well, then we're bringing that universal consciousness, which is more about the love and the sweetness and the caring and the concern for how another person feels, so that our answers are in the moment. They're good, they're correct or appropriate, but they're also more nourishing and like, yeah. Life is an improv. It's a nice idea to work with.
Yeah, I feel like just a suggestion for everyone is if you try to, now we have our realization, so how can we really become different people, really change and see life differently, experience it differently, speak differently, act differently, just try to kind of take a fresh approach by being up here and seeing what at every moment or whenever we possibly can remember to be there and see what it should be. And
Linda, I know we're approaching the end of this conversational time, but will you tell your story on the bus? Because I think that would just be a great paradigm, a great example of how we can use it.
Okay, sure. So,
okay.
This
in India.
India.
Linda started in Saja Yoga so long ago that she used to go to India and on these India tours.
I think we've talked about it before. Shri Mataji organized these amazing tours of mostly in Maharashtra, around Mumbai and that whole area. But there would be lots of us, and we'd be on these old rundown buses.
Yeah, Westerners.
Yeah, and it would be pretty rustic and basic, but we all were very intent on growing deeper. And so we would have these really long bus rides from one, holy place to another, and like long 10, 12 hours, right? And Shri Mataji would say, now on these bus rides, I don't want you to just sleep. I want you to meditate and bring your, be in a state of thoughtless awareness. So I was remembering that actually our dear friend Carolyn, actually, who just recently passed away, was such a cheerleader for all of us. And I remember sitting next to her on these buses, and she would say, okay, let's do it. and so we would, how long can we be thoughtless? And how long, and without getting, and so we both realized that we had a blockage on our Vishuddhi, and especially right Vishuddhi at the time. Mm-hmm. And that how long can we look around even at every person on the bus?
Yes.
And not judge them, not have any thought about that person. You look at a person and you just don't think. Mm-hmm. It is very hard to do because we have so many preconceptions, all these, just ideas about, okay, they look like this, or then they must be, all these things. So
Right.
just to really let all of that go and let there be nothing in our minds about that person. Just see their spirit. That's it. So.
And how was the result? When we were chatting, I forgot to ask you. Of course, it was mixed, right, Linda? Because it was new to you guys. But it wasn't. I guess I'm going to give you this word empowering and ask you, did it feel empowering to you?
It did, but it also felt really daunting because it was so hard. But
yep. Yeah.
But I feel like it's certainly something that, I wanted to share with everyone because it's something to try. It's a kind of a very practical exercise that we can do to, and just even a little bit of success on it, we can feel really very happy about it, because when we do look at other people without all that baggage, it's just so freeing, and they really appreciate it too. So.
That's right. That's the other part of it, isn't it? Right? People can feel it. They can feel that judgment and forget it. You've already created a barrier right there, even just a silent thing.
Yeah. I mean, just one more thing I wanted to say that you reminded me of just now is that, when we try to work on our right Vishuddhi, that we, it's good if we stop, blurting out or saying things that we wish we hadn't that are hurtful. That's stage one. But stage two is actually not even thinking those things. And that's kind of that bus example is, not even saying it, but not even thinking. Because even when we think those judgments, people can feel it from us. I know I've had that experience,
I'm going to take the challenge, Linda. I don't ride the bus anymore, but next time I'm in the grocery store.
Okay. Wonderful. All right. Well, so I hope everybody's enjoyed this conversation as much as we have. And now, let's see.
Absolutely.
You want to go ahead and introduce? We have the talk next.
Yes. So now we will exercise that practice of silence with our Vishuddhi, won't we, Linda? And we will listen to Shri Mataji speak about the power of the witness power, just that tremendous power that we receive. And then Angela will grace us with her beautiful music from her beautiful Vishuddhi, talk to us a little bit more about the sort of a global idea about Vishuddhi, and then we'll come back and have a little bit more silent before we end. Good. So see you on the other side.
Then also your tongue improves. For example, some people are very sarcastic by temperament. They cannot say something sweetly. All the time they are sarcastic, saying sarcastic things. Some people have a habit of abusive language. Some people are extremely beggarish type, all the time talking in a very beggarish manner. There's no dignity, there's no sweetness, and there is no self-confidence for some people. Some people even stammer. Some people cannot stand on the stage and give a lecture. All these things drop out as soon as your Vishuddhi Chakra improves. This is only outward. This is the outward manifestation of the Vishuddhi Chakra's improvement within yourself through the awakening of Sri Krishna on Vishuddhi Chakra. But what happens really is that inside you, you become a witness. You become a witness in the sense that all that is disturbing, all that is troubling you, all that is a problem, you just start watching it. You start witnessing it. You start seeing it, and you do not get disturbed. That seeing, that witnessing state has a tremendous power. Whatever you see without thinking, your problems get solved. Any problem you have, once you get this witness state, what we call tatastha, means you are standing on the shores and watching the waves to move, then you know how to solve the problems. So your witness state has to be developed, and sometimes I have seen people have to go through little difficulties to develop that witness state. This is very important, that once the Kundalini starts supplying you from your Sahasrara downward, moving on your chakras and enriching your different chakras on the Vishuddhi Chakra, when it has to stay, it really tries to little bit take you through turmoils. And you start thinking that, see, now my life was so blissful, I had so many blessings, and now what has happened? But this is the time when you should become tatastha, means you should become a witness. If you become a witness, everything improves. For example, you are, say, a person who is working in some place. As soon as you become a witness, you see, your attention goes inside and you start watching things from inside out. As a result, you see exactly what's wrong where. And as you have got the power of witnessing, with that power you get over the problems that you have. Problems get solved very easily if you know how to witness the whole situation than to get involved into it. And this is the best state which we call as Sakshi Swarupatva, which you achieve when the Kundalini comes up and the connection is established and the divine ray starts following through that and enriches your Vishuddhi Chakra. Now the name of Sri Krishna has come from the word Krishi, meaning the plowing of the soil for planting the crops. Now he is the one who has done the plowing for us, in the sense that he has created us in such a manner that when the sprouting has to be done, you are already ready for it. But as it is, we human beings spoil our Vishuddhi Chakra by many wrong things, as you have seen that we smoke or we take drugs or we take tobaccos and all that. So our Vishuddhi Chakra goes out. On top of that, if you are a person who doesn't talk at all, or who talks too much, or who shouts and screams and who shows temper, raises his voices, also spoils his Vishuddhi Chakra. So the first thing is that in your using the Vishuddhi Chakra, you have to remember it is to be used for sweetness, for madhurya. If you want to say something to someone, try to say something that is sweet and nice. Practice it.
We can continue having our attention inside of us, trying to reflect the beauty and the depth of Shri Mataji's golden words. As we all have energy centers within us, our Mother Earth, our planet Earth, has energy centers as well. This wonderful planet has chakras as well. So when we meditate, this transformation process that we experience, it does not only happen at an individual level, it happens at a collective level as well. The American continent, North America, Central America, South America represent the Vishuddhi of our planet, the Vishuddhi of our Mother Earth. We can imagine North America as the brother, South America as the sister. We all a big united family, marching together to achieve a goal that is to become the spirit. And when our Kundalini ascend, collectively, we are part of this big ocean of love. And we achieve the yoga. Shri Mataji says, what is yoga? In simple words, it is taking your attention to the spirit. This is yoga. What does the Kundalini do? She raises your attention and takes it to the spirit. Na 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 na. The truth is that you are not this body, this mind, these conditionings or ego, but you are the pure spirit. La 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 la, na 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 na. If you want to know the reality, you have to become the spirit. Si quieres conocer la realidad, debes convertirte en el espíritu. Na 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 na. The spirit is the source of peace. It is the source of joy. It is not the duality of happiness and unhappiness, but singular joy. over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of in a lullaby. Más allá del arco iris brilla el cielo azul, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, en donde vio salir el sol que brilla con su resplandor y nos da vida. Somewhere over the rainbow we can feel that our dreams, que los sueños that you dare to dream, que tú sueñas really to come true, son realidad. Sarigamapa, pada nida pamapa, nida pamaga, risa nidesa. Sarigamapa, sarigamapada, sarigamapada ni, sarigamapada ni sa. Sanida nida pada pama pama kama kari karisa. Tu ameva saksha, Shri Radha Krishna saksha. Namo Namaha Shri Vishnu Maya, Shri Yashoda Mata. Namo Namaha, Namo Namaha, Namo Namaha, Namo Namaha, Namo Namaha. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for all of us, and I feel in my heart what a wonderful world, world, world. Wonderful world.
Let's bring our left hand up to our Vishuddhi. And let's close our eyes. And let's continue to just imbibe the sweetness and the beautiful fragrance of Angela's music and the beautiful meanings of Shri Mataji's talk. Mother Kundalini, please let us dissolve our I-ness into that brother and sister feeling that we are part and parcel of one whole. One whole humanity marching towards discovering our spirit. Mother Kundalini, please awaken within me that awareness of being part and parcel of the whole. Please awaken that awareness within me. Oh, Mother, I want to feel that oneness with my spirit and with the beautiful awakened spirits, the beautiful enlightened souls, and potentially enlightened people on this planet. Enlightened through our spirit awakening. Through our Mother Kundalini. Let's bring our two hands together in front of our center heart. We can bow to our Mother Kundalini in our sacrum bone and to our spirit. The seeking for which has brought us here. And let's raise our Kundalini now together. Feeling that oneness within ourselves, that wholeness with ourselves. And take the bandhan. Mother, thank you for helping me feel my wholeness within myself and my oneness with the whole. I am part and parcel of the whole of humanity. Jai Shri Mataji. Hope everyone enjoyed.
So just a few things to tell you, that if you would like a mentor and don't already have one, please let us know in the chat. As you can see, hablamos español. And you can request a breakout room in español si quiere. And we thought if you'd like to continue the conversation a little bit, we can stay on with you and engage like that if anybody would like to. As well, if anyone would like to go into a breakout room with the Satyogi to have a workshop or ask any questions, you can do that by typing that in the chat. And we have people on hand who are very ready and willing to help you. So with that, we'll say I'll welcome Sylvia and Angela back on. And ask if anybody would like to ask anything or comment anything, share any of your stories of Vishuddhi, successes or challenges.
I just want to take a second and say, Angela, thank you so much for the music.
Yes. It was thrilling. It
was really beautiful. And over the rainbow, I was over the rainbow.
It was such a beautiful mix of all these aspects of music that you brought in. It was really, really lovely.
They were part and parcel of the whole.
Yes, the variety is an aspect of the Vishuddhi, of all that richness of different flavors. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that was the idea. To have a little bit of everything together, integrated. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Very
So if anybody,
nice.
if anybody would like to raise their hand and share anything, or even you're welcome to. In the meantime, go ahead. Somebody.
Gia had a comment in the chat. Patricia, we saw her for a moment. Would anybody? Hi, Patricia.
Hello. Do you want to share a story, Patricia?
No, I'm waiting for the break rooms.
Okay.
It's okay.
All right.
I am not so brave.
Okay. Angela, maybe you'd like to share a story?
Yeah, sure. So, Shri Mataji came to Colombia, as I mentioned, and she came to South America on several occasions. And once when she came to Colombia, we had the opportunity to perform for her. So we prepared a play and different musical pieces and dances, and everything was local, typical from our music, from what we knew. And we had a night that we call it entertainment program that we offered to Shri Mataji, as we wanted to give her a taste of everything. A little bit of food, little bit of our culture, little bit of many other things. And then Shri Mataji was so appreciative. She was mentioning all the time, this is so beautiful, and thanking us all the time. Thank you very much, thank you very much, thank you very much. She used to repeat. And sometimes we used to feel a little bit overwhelmed, right? Because she's telling us that, and we are the ones who have to really say, thank you, Shri Mataji, for your attention and for your patience and for listening to us. And then I remember, after we had this entertainment program, Shri Mataji said at the end, I am very sure that the Divine is very happy. So then I realized every culture is so important. Every person is so important. And we really have to appreciate the place where we are born and try to find the beauty. The reason why I sang Over the Rainbow is because I think in the American culture there are such a beautiful things, such a beautiful songs and meanings and messages. And it's just here. Spirituality is in front of us. Every culture has so many beautiful things, and there have been so many people, some like Mozart, and in different cultures trying to show us the way to the realization and to meditation and to awakening of the Kundalini. So yeah, when I heard Shri Mataji saying that, I realized that everything is beautiful. If we find the essence and if we find the base of innocence in every culture, I mean, we can move forward together.
Oh, so beautiful. Thank you.
Wow, Angela, it's so nice to remember that at one time American songs were just so had so much melody. Oh, I'm showing my age here. But really respected and appreciated all over the world in a deeper, perhaps, way. Of course, I'm of a rock and roll generation, and there's a tremendous amount of rock and roll that's right from the heart, right to the heart as well. But I think I'm remembering my parents' generation when we sing Over the Rainbow. And that was kind of the golden age of Hollywood and all of that. But anyway, it's just lovely to think of it, that contribution that America could make. Oh, I think Jay raised his hand, and now we have his video. Hi, Jay. Good to see you there. Do you have
Hi, everyone. Absolutely. Fantastic meditation, of course, and talks and music and everything as usual. Always so wonderful. Just a question, of course. I thought I heard one night that the Vishuddhi went up to here. Is that, am I, because I remember.
Maybe you're thinking of here at the hairline.
Well, that's more
well, there's the Hamsa, there's a what we call a sub chakra that's right here between the eyebrows.
Yeah.
Right here.
The Hamsa.
And the Hamsa, we'll do a session on that sometime in the next month or two. we need to, and because it's a beautiful sub chakra. The qualities are about having discretion and discrimination.
Okay.
So yeah, but actually, we didn't mention that the Vishuddhi covers all aspects of our face, like the external part of our face, and eyes and ears and nose and throat, as well as our neck and shoulders, arms and hands.
And the skin.
And the skin.
Okay.
So that's all governed by the Vishuddhi Chakra. So, you know.
I thought there was something like that.
And the teeth as well.
Right.
Yes, the teeth. The upper teeth are right Vishuddhi, and the lower teeth are left Vishuddhi.
Very interesting. Okay. And is that the only one that does all that? Like,
well, I mean, the left ear would be your left Vishuddhi, and your right ear would be your right Vishuddhi, and same with the eye. You know. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. There's nothing. I mean, anything that you know, even you get a mosquito bite somewhere, you can go, what chakra is that?
Very interesting. Yeah. Okay, I thought there's something of the sort, so I was just clarifying, and very interesting. Thank you very much, Linda.
Right, the five senses at the Vishuddhi.
Yes, absolutely.
So yes, so bit of a challenge, right, for us to. I think there was one talk, and of course we'll go into this too, another time maybe. But Shri Mataji explained that once the Vishuddhi is enlightened, and has grown more, the senses themselves become the stimuli, rather than looking outside for stimuli for the senses. So the actual act of seeing becomes the stimulus becomes the beauty. The act of tasting becomes the enjoyment of tasting. We're not so hankering for this taste or that taste. It's just the taste itself becomes the satisfaction, the sense of smell, and so on. It's a very beautiful idea. We'll have to explore that one as well.
So it's not actually the smell of the flower, it's the fact that we can smell?
It's a little bit mixture of both. In other words, you're so satisfied with that fragrance, you become sort of one with it, is my feeling, understanding, that you don't crave it anymore.
I don't want burgers anymore. It's amazing.
That's an achievement.
Yeah.
Very American achievement.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it.
Become one with the burgers.
Part of it too, I think, is that the five senses can be, could be a distraction from being one with our spirit, right? That you feel.
Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah, that it pulls you away from focusing on your inner self. So.
Yeah.
But then if you. When you are within yourself and then you smell something, it's just completes you, you could say, or you feel that the beauty of it as
yes,
yeah.
You're part of it. It's one with you. I have this amazing gardenia next to me, and I am definitely experiencing the oneness with this gardenia, and I hope my feeling of oneness is transferring to everyone, and this fragrance of this gardenia is transferring to everyone. But anyway, very interesting. We'll explore it more, won't we? There's so much to it. 16 petals on the Vishuddhi Chakra.
Yeah, there's a lot. And I realized one of the things we didn't talk about, there's some very practical solutions that Shri Mataji told us. Things like gargling with salt water if you get a little tickle, go right for it, when it really works. Honey is very, very good for the Vishuddhi. Wearing a scarf. Shri Mataji is always very particular about protecting our Vishuddhi, because if we can catch a cold if we don't protect it, we're susceptible. So these, yeah.
That actually brings up another question. Then I heard chanting could actually damage your Vishuddhi. Is that possible?
We want Angela to take this one.
Yeah, go ahead, Angela.
Chanting what?
Well, I guess if you're at the ball game, you're going to have a sore throat tomorrow. But just Om and.
Well, yeah. If you are saying the right mantras, whatever we are learning here in the classes, definitely is going to improve your Vishuddhi.
Okay.
But if you are going to shout in a football game, just have fun, but don't shout so much. Because obviously you are going to lose your voice, and if you are going to overuse your voice, obviously it's going to affect your throat. But I would say have fun if you are with your friends and enjoying that moment. Is also a moment of collectivity. So
yeah, but chanting in general, as long as you're doing it, properly, it's fine, right?
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
I think you should sing the same way you talk. There is no difference because you are using the same instrument. You are using your voice. So the same way you talk, the same way you sing. So it should be something like that. We think something different, that when we are singing, we are doing something totally different, but it's actually the same. Singing and talking should be pretty similar because we are using the same instrument. I am not an expert. I am learning every day, learning. I love singing. And I also work with children, so sometimes I just lose my voice because I'm shouting. But yeah, you are your own master in matter of your voice as well. You know how far to go. There are people who have much more projection and they can really have a very high volume and nothing will happen. But yeah.
That's true. And I love what you said, Angela, about what are you chanting? It's really important. Now we're enlightened and we don't want to go off. I mean, that's the part of discretion, right? The mantras that we use here are safe and they're vibrated. And the point is to awaken the reality in each of the chakras with the vibrations. The mantras have vibrations. So there are disciplines out there that maybe are not so trustworthy, definitely are not so trustworthy. And we do have to be very careful what we use. So I don't know, did we touch any answers for you, Jay?
Absolutely. No, that's basically, actually, that's a very good question from Gia. I guess she asked, can you give an example of an unsafe mantra? I understand your point of view is where just stay in the program and you'll be safe because they've already been tested. But, it's being human is being curious, right? And it's sort of like, now that I'm aware, absolutely, Angela, I get that, we're our own master, and it's sort of this, now that we have this more aware self-awareness, you almost, I find myself being able to, I'm not at the point where I can, before I touch the food, I can tell if it's bad or good, but when it's in my body, I can now tell if it's bad or good. And before it'd be something, I'll just deal with whatever, right? But then you come here, you start becoming more enlightened, you start becoming more aware. And so I know eventually, hopefully I'll work my way up to the point where I'll, I have made smart decisions, instead of buying the pre-made lemon juice, I just buy the real lemons, right? It just makes sense. But, I can't wait to the point where I can know before I get there. But when you think of it, like Sanskrit is a vibrational language. So if, and most mantras are in Sanskrit, so technically, it's this kind of thought where you're coming from that you think, okay, well, it's, even though they're vibrations, what's being said, I guess, is the harm that could happen.
Yeah.
That is it, eh?
I mean, not everything in Sanskrit has vibrations. So
That's the point. Yeah.
Okay.
So really, I think the bottom line is, I mean, of course, as everyone has said here, anything that we're teaching you, we've learned from Shri Mataji, and it has vibrations because we have felt the vibrations of it, and we also trust her so much, right? Okay. But then you also, as you've said, you're still developing your vibratory awareness. But I would say that as much as you can, if if there's something else that you feel inspired to say as a mantra, or you should see the vibrations of it. Yeah. And if they're cool and they make you feel better, then great. But if they're not, then no.
Yeah. Okay. That's keep it simple, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, one more thing I wanted to say also is that, and Shri Mataji talks about this quite a lot, is that, in India, there's a kind of a practice of just repeating mantras over and over again. Even there are these, like to, let's say, Shri Krishna, we shouldn't be just like calling.
Mm-hmm. I saw that video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a rude type of thing where why do you keep calling them,
Right.
Absolutely. Anyway, like that'd be like a child trying to get their parents' attention, okay,
Yeah.
you got it,
Yeah. Why? Yeah. Right.
Are you trying to make me work on my Vishuddhi?
So overdoing anything, basically, especially on the Vishuddhi, is, overdoing. Yeah.
Well, that brings up one more question then. 16 petals, would we do the mantra 16 times?
Yes, can do.
Can do.
Okay, because we do the Sri Ganesha four times for the 4 petals,
Yeah.
and then 6, 8. Okay,
Yeah.
so book about an hour or two, and you'll get right through all your chakras.
You don't have to. That's the point. It's not like, oh, you must do
Yeah,
this.
no, I know.
No.
I
You
get
know,
it.
one time with feeling is really all you need.
Okay.
Seriously.
And I guess too, you do work on what's caught, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's about feeling the vibrations. Where's your attention? You know, when you say a mantra, attention needs to be up here, right? In that connected place. So then when you actually say the mantra, it has the power. Otherwise it's not, it's like a disconnected, phone connection, right? So
See, I got so many questions. That brings up another video I saw of Shri Mataji where she's talking about the Muladhara, and she's like, just put your attention there and say the Sri Ganesha the 4 times. And I always thought that you did put your attention up here, but I guess you could do
both.
Sure.
Yes. So that's something that might take a bit of practice, but is that we can put our attention both on the chakra we're working on. I was saying that earlier, put it on your Vishuddhi and at the top of your head at the same time, if you can.
Oh, okay. Multitasking.
Well. I mean, if you have to choose, put it up here.
Yes. It'll eventually go here anyway. I mean, it'll trickle down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Jay.
Great night.
Questions.
Great to have you there, Jay.
Thank you. Fantastic.
Anybody else want to chat?
Well, I see Bina's video is on. I don't know if that means she wants to chat.
Hi.
Hi.
Very nice session again. Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Angela, for lovely songs. That's nice. Too much work to do, but you have to continuously keep doing the work, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not one day job, right? It's ongoing. I know.
That's right. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. I sent a message for you, Sylvia, in the chat.
Oh, good. Okay, Bina.
Okay.
I'll look.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you too. Good to see you, Bina.
All right. Well, if no one else has anything,
I think Donna, is that her video on? Is it Donna?
it's been on.
Okay.
Unless anybody has anything else, maybe we'll call it a night. Okay. All right. So maybe Angela, you could have we could meditate for just a minute or two with you.
Sure. We can close our eyes and keep our attention on top of the head. And with your own words, you can express gratitude for the opportunity of meditating together. With your own words, you can express your aspiration of what you want to achieve with this meditation, what you need. And with your own words, you can express a desire that you would like to materialize for the whole humanity. Take your attention a few inches or centimeters above your head and just be there in this safe place. Where you are alone with your Mother Kundalini. But at the same time, where we are all together in the light of the Spirit. Once again, we can raise our Kundalini slowly with full attention. And we can give ourselves abandon or protection 7 times.